everybody. I am Kay Thompson, a principal broker at Best Real Estate Company, and I am here with my faithful broker sidekick, Shanita Johnson.
Hello, hello.
And we were just laughing about something that has nothing to do with today's podcast, but welcome to the Best Real Estate Company's Friday Focus. And you guys must forgive me and Shanita for getting this out to you guys later this afternoon. I know for the last few weeks we've been kind of consistent in getting it out in the morning, but I had an awesome new agent boot camp that I went through this week with. I always start out with a few agents, and then I just wind up having one. So one completed the boot camp training today. She is ready to meet her ambassador agent that I'll be putting her with to get help and guidance from as she moves to the next phase of her career, where she will be now taking on, lead opportunities and things of that nature. And so maybe she will be partnered with one of you, one of my, best agents who has a great disposition and who has a lot of knowledge and a lot of patience and wants to read and, yes, interpret things accurately. And just so you guys know, the way the new agent ambassador program is set up is that you and that agent are going to make an arrangement where you're going to answer questions for that agent who's new, if you're the ambassador agent. And that agent is going to take your lead and close a few transactions. The new agents are aware that there is some compensation requirement on their behalf for working with an ambassador agent. Hopefully our ambassador agents are giving them reasonable deals. I have asked them to come to me if they don't feel like they are getting a deal that they can handle with the ambassador agent, and hopefully we can negotiate and come to some amicable terms for everybody. But I pretty much want to leave that up to you guys to work out with them. So the ambassador agent helps them to close a few deals, and in exchange for your time and your knowledge, you'll be paid a portion of their percentage, whatever you and that agent agree on. And so it fosters, I think, a good learning within our ranks, and it helps the agents who are new to feel more acclimated and to feel like they really are a part of the brokerage. And so I commend and appreciate every one of the ambassador agents that I have been able to reach out to in the last couple of years that have helped me to complete the new onboarding training for our new agents. So thank you so much for that. And those of you who have agreed to be an agent, an ambassador agent, be on the lookout. I may be calling you with this new girl, and let me tell you, she is dynamite. She is thorough. She asks excellent questions. She reads. She's a go-getter. She's not lazy. All the things I love in a new agent.
Not lazy.
Not lazy tops my list. And then probably a very close second is that she reads. So with that being said, we're about 4 minutes in, and I know I keep promising these things won't be long, and then they turn out to be longer than I expected. But today we really going to do our best to keep it to a bare minimum in terms of time. And I think that this topic is one that's very direct, it's clear cut. We don't have to do a lot of explaining, I would think, about it, but we do need to talk about it. Because I think that in some instances, it can trip up newer agents for sure. And even some of our older agents who have, or let me not say older, that's the wrong term. Seasoned, more seasoned agents not necessarily in terms of age themselves, but that have been in the real estate industry long enough to understand certain rules, and they've taken enough continuing education classes, hopefully, that they've paid attention to, that they will understand the changes in the rules and the laws that we have to follow as they come about. So I said hopefully. And the point of this podcast, actually, for me was to be an additional resource to the agents when situations arise where they may not have read something. I know that, and I'm not just harping on agents and saying, hey, they don't read, even though 7 out of 10 of y'all don't read a lot of the information that comes out, industry information. But that's just not, I'm not saying best 7 out of 10 agents don't read. I'm saying that's an industry statistic. NAR actually puts that out. We've consistently been at 7 out of 10 don't read for like 5 years. So we really need to work on that, guys, as professionals, because they also report a very high number of us don't read the forms that we have people sign. Right. And so that brings me to today's topic. I have an agent who brought me a situation. It probably was maybe the week before last, but it was, or maybe the end of last week. I'm not sure. I get so many opportunities to talk to you guys about challenges that you have in your businesses. But this agent was having an issue with another agent regarding time of essence. And I do believe they got the situation resolved without my input. And I'm always happy when agents can solve their problem within their transaction, like work it out amicably with the other agent without having to involve me. Not that I don't want to do the work to help keep your transactions on track. It just means a lot to me as a leader to know that I am working with people who can do that themselves. It just speaks to your abilities and your craft as a leader. So, the topic today is, Madam Shanita,
time of essence.
Yes, time of essence. Can you kind of give us like a quick synopsis of what does that mean? What does time of essence mean?
Basically, from the time you or your client, from the time your client enters into a binding agreement, the clock begins to tick on when certain things have to be completed. Earnest money, inspection, all of the financing, all of the things. So it's imperative that you are aware that the clock begins ticking once that signature is on that, once you have the binding agreement. So time of essence, get it done in that prescribed time, because it's set up that way for a reason, so that things are accomplished in a timely manner and no delays, and it gives you that cushion in case there are things that you don't expect or have not prepared for. So yes.
Exactly.
And it keeps, especially when it comes to the financing. And I'm not gonna go too deep in this, but when it comes to your, especially buyer clients with their financing, the lender has a certain amount of time where they have to provide I lost my thought.
The closing estimate.
The closing estimate and the cost.
Closing disclosure.
They have a certain time. And so if you go beyond that time, you just start getting into all things. So, and it's legal. So it's
a government requirement. If your client is getting FHA, VA, something like that, once they get their loan estimate, they have what they call a right. They can change their mind, and the lenders have to give them 3 business days in order to do that. So your time of essence is very important, because all of that, your repairs, all of those things have to be worked into this contract. That is why, for one, there are so many lines on the contract that are blank, because those lines are the lines that you should be talking to your clients about and making sure that what you're putting in those lines are things that they can actually accomplish. When you don't talk to them about those things, and because you're putting them in a hopefully not in a position where they can't do something, but if you're giving them undue stress, and you're because you're not discussing the time frames they have for things, you are setting them up to lose their investment, which in a lot of cases is earnest money. You are setting them up for all sorts of other possible legal challenges because they are failing to meet these requirements with regard to time of essence. I think I said it in another podcast, I'll say it here again. There is your time of essence um, actually begins when all parties have, like Shanita says, signed and acknowledged that they have received the documents that they need in order to form a binding contract. At the bottom of the Tennessee forms, and I think at the bottom of every form that I have a license in, there is a section where you can put in, when you receive the contract back. So the binding date, right? The date of that you're acknowledging that it's a contract. Technically, your time of essence, the time officially starts the day after that.
In Tennessee.
In Tennessee. If you're licensed in other places, you want to look it up and see what the state specifics are for those. But we looked up Tennessee. I looked up Tennessee to be sure the other day because of this one particular situation, and that just goes to show, guys, I have to still, even though I'm your broker and I'm charged with having a lot of information, I still have to look things up and make sure that I'm giving you the correct information because things change. Now, I do want to point out that just because you don't put something in that time of essence box doesn't mean that that acknowledgement box doesn't mean that there is no time of essence. Because if you look at the contracts, I know for all of the states that I'm licensed in, which is all of the states that y'all have licenses in, there is a statement in your purchase and sale agreement or your offer that says that you will adhere to the time of essence. Yeah. So they don't have to give you a specific definition of what that is. As real estate professionals, we should know that. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing. The third thing is your inspections period is a different timeline. It is a timeline within the timeline is the best way for me to explain that. And you have to do all the things that are required in this inspection section by the end of that day, that time period. So if you're saying that you need 10 days to perform inspections, that's not 10 business days.
10 calendar days.
Right. Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, Ohio. If you don't write business days, it is 10 calendar days. So everybody needs to be aware of that. They do not discount Saturday and Sunday because I want to be off, because Kay wants to be off. No.
Right.
So that's the first thing about that. And you have to have all the things done. So it can't be that your inspector goes out on day 10 and inspects unless he can get you a report back and you can get the requests for repairs written up and sent over, signed by your client and sent over to those people all within that 10th day. Right? So it's not just that you have to have your inspection done. You have to have the inspection done and the request for repairs completed by the 10th day, if that's the amount of time that you allotted in your contract for inspections to take place. And here's something that is present on lines 289, 290, and 291 of the Tennessee Purchase and Sale Agreement. It is highlighted in bold. If it is not on your contract, then you do not have the one that I, as your broker, have said you should be using. If you need to find it, it is in dot loop under the 2024 Tennessee Residential Real Estate Forms folder. So I need y'all to go there and get it if you don't have it, because in there it says buyer waives any objection to matters of purely cosmetic nature, e.g. decorative, color, or finish items disclosed by inspection. Buyer has no right to require repairs or alterations purely to meet the current building codes unless required to do so by governmental authorities. So you cannot say to the buyer, well, you can, to the seller, you can ask for anything you want. Let me just say that you can ask for anything you want as long as it's legal if you're a buyer or a seller. But just know that that is unreasonable. And it has been such an issue that they have put that,
updated it for 2024,
and put it in the contract that says the buyer cannot object and cancel the contract because they don't like the paint color.
It said finishes,
decorative colors or finish items disclosed by inspection. Buyer has no right to require repairs or alterations purely to meet current building codes unless required to do so by governmental authorities. Now, the other thing that has changed that a lot of people are not aware of, but it's changed all over the world, and that is if your client has a VA loan, they can pay for their termite inspection. That has changed all over the world.
Yes.
I got 3 calls in the last month. Somebody, well, this seller said they're not paying for my buyer's woods termite inspection. I'm like, okay. Why are you calling me? What you want me to do? Because they can say no.
Because they can pay for their own.
Because they can pay for their own. And so that has also been updated in our contract here for Tennessee. The other thing that I want to state is septic tanks, pools, all those things need to be inspected during your inspections period, the number of days that you allotted. If your buyer has to pay for all these things, it will behoove you to ask them when they can pay for them. Then give them an extra day. Because stuff happens, right? You give them an extra day, and that way you can make sure that they're going to meet their timeline. If what they're telling you is going to give you a 30-day, a 35-day contract closing time, that's okay. I would rather close on or before the 35th day than to be rushing to get closed by the 30th day. You know what I'm saying? And I forget something, or I don't advocate something as well as I could have for my customer. Just know that all of these things need to be explained to the buyers and to the sellers beforehand. You need to explain to your clients what time of essence is, so that when they give you their money for their earnest money or whatever, hopefully y'all are asking them to take it to the appropriate place and you're not driving around with that in your car. I do not take earnest money from people. I'm like, you need $1,000, go on ahead and take it over here to Attorney Office 123 at Main Street. Make sure you snap a picture with your phone of the check, and then you can text that to me. I will convert that to a PDF and I will upload that to my .lut file. That way, if some money comes up missing, I don't know what happened to it. Last year, that happened to me. The closing attorney lost the earnest money.
Oh, wow.
I was like, well, I don't know, because I never touched it. Don't even ask me, because I never touched it. You didn't turn it in? I absolutely did not turn it in.
That's staying in your lane.
Yes, stay in your lane, stay in lane. There's nothing wrong with your clients taking their earnest money. And for me, it gives them, it makes them feel better because it gives them the opportunity to meet the closer and the attorney. They can ask whatever questions they think they need to ask from a legality standpoint. You are still clear and not operating outside of your lane. And it makes them feel more like things are happening.
Yeah.
But I digress on that. I think that's all I wanted to say about that, is just to make sure, guys, because I've gotten several calls where people were wrong about how time of essence works. They were wrong about what they were telling their clients. These sellers do not have to accept cosmetic repairs as a reason to back out. So if your client is mad because they didn't get $4,000 for paint, and you $4,000 flooring, whatever it is, and it's a cosmetic thing. You can't be turning that thing in to the listing agent saying, "Oh, well, my client wants their earnest money back," and you're outside of the inspections and resolutions period. Well, the lender said this ain't painted. We clearly know that's not the case, right? The lender is not going to stop the loan because you don't like the paint. That is not a reason to get your money back. Saying something is old and dated, if it works, it works. That's just it. And that is in your 2024 Tennessee purchase and sale agreement. I strongly urge you guys to go out and read it in its entirety, because they have put certain little things in there that, if you are not reading it, can catch you up.
Yeah.
You want to add anything, Shanita?
No, not with time of essence. Just know the clock starts ticking.
The day after
you have that binding agreement, so you gotta make sure, and there's even a checklist in the Tennessee there's a checklist that goes along with the purchase and sale agreement.
And I went and got that very document and requested that it be added to Dotloop.
Yeah.
So
there's no excuse. If you just count the days, it's calendar days.
It's calendar days, unless you write business days.
Yeah.
And so, just to give an example, today is June the 21st. Shanita wrote an offer to Kay. Kay accepted. Kay signed the offer saying she accepted. Shanita got it back. Time of essence starts tomorrow,
June 22nd.
Saturday, because Kay didn't say business days. So that's as simple and as plain as I can get it.
And that's important to remember too, when you, like you said, when you don't say business days when it comes to earnest money. So if you get the accepted contract on a Friday and accepted agreement on a Friday, and you put in that agreement that your buyer has 3 days to turn in earnest money,
they already messed up by Monday.
That's Saturday, Sunday.
Monday they through booking. So if they don't get it there
if they don't have it in Monday. So just be mindful of that. Be
mindful of it and do what I said. Be mindful of it. Talk to your clients about it. If they say they need 5 days, you give them 6.
Yeah.
Because things happen.
Yeah.
Make sure you're operating with the cushion so that you can have time to react properly instead of reacting out of angst, excitement, fear, all of those things. Because when you do things out of the wrong emotions, you get the wrong result.
Yeah. Reacting versus responding. You react when you don't plan properly. You respond when you know you've prepared.
You've prepared. Yeah. So that is what this is all about. Yeah. I thank you so much. We finally got under 30 minutes. We're going to end right here while the getting is good. To those of you who are listening to this evening, make sure to come out tomorrow for Community Day.
Yes, we will be at the Arts Cafe, 1823 Kansas Street in South Memphis at Shady Grove. It's right next to Shady Grove Missionary Baptist Church for National Financial Literacy Day. We will be presenting 7 different topics related to credit. The name of the workshop is The Arts of Being Credit Smart. Of course, there's a play on words because it's an arts cafe and there will be art in the room and spoken word and painting and all of the things. So come out 12 o'clock tomorrow from 12 to 3 at 1823 Kansas Street for National Financial Literacy Day with the Women's Council. And also it's National Homeownership Month too. So
National Homeownership Month.
Senior people.
Right. Also, I want to include in that remind you guys that you need to go to memphisinvestorsgroup.com and look at the mid calendar. It's always posted there. If you have people that are interested in investing, that's a great resource. And it's a safe place in my mind for people who are not really savvy about how they should move in the world of real estate investment. I'm not saying that they can protect you from everything, but you can learn so much stuff over there that you can pretty much, navigate safely, and there's good people over there that want to see people do well. So it's not a bunch of
it's not a competitive
no,
environment.
it's like a
helpful.
family oriented.
Yeah, it
it's a
really is.
family feeling. So make sure that you guys are doing that. I will say that I'm going to put out a newsletter next week. I want you guys to be on the lookout for that because I am planning this Family and Friends Day for July the 19th. And I'm already in the process of getting vendors and everything worked out so that we can have some great food and great activities. Make sure you invite your past and current clients. Anybody that's looking to purchase a home, we'll be working to get the community involved. This is a good community. It's over off Pax Cross and Highway 64 is where we'll be. I know some of y'all really want some clients from over there. So if you want to meet them, you will be at this event. And lastly, on June the 28th, is it June the 20th?
What's the 28th?
June the 30th. I'm sorry. I'm looking at you. Yes, okay. We are also hosting a scholarship tea. So it's too late for you to get your scholarship applications in. Now we will be honoring 2 community leaders, one of our favorite local lenders, and we will be giving out scholarships to how many?
6 students.
6 wonderful students who are on their way to institutions of higher learning. I just love being a part of great community events like that. I have, and Shanita and so many other people have pledged to keep this scholarship fund going. So I'll be donating again this year. I love to see my dollars go to good use. Yep. And so I will be, hopefully leading the charge to keep that replenished. But we would love to see y'all there. You can go to my page or Shanita's Facebook page. We'll post it in the Best Real Estate Company page as well. Where you guys can pay to attend the tea. We have a DJ. It's a straight up high society, highfalutin tea.
Good time.
Good times, good food, different varieties of tea, all sorts of people in the place to enjoy and celebrate these young people. We need to have more of that going on in our community. And I also want to say the last week of July, y'all will not get a podcast because me and Shanita are going to be rubbing elbows with some senators and some famous people so we can get, how they get their money.
All things real estate.
All things real estate. So thank you guys so much for joining us again. And thank you for all the positive feedback we're getting from you. Remember, if you have any questions, concerns, topics, things that you want us to talk about, you can share those. No topic is taboo or off limits. And have an awesome and fabulous weekend.
Happy Friday.
Ta-ta.